Okay, so it seems like somehow the Alicia X life situation has gotten even worse. Now, this is something that we've covered quite a bit on this channel in the past couple of days, as it's something that affects a lot of VTubers in general, and also a lot of creators just, on the platform, on YouTube, which is obviously their terrible support system and how they actually respond and react to a lot of the things that have gone on. Now, if you don't know, and you want a little recap of what has happened, essentially, Alicia X Life ended up getting her account hacked on, I think it was Alicia X Life and aliciaxdeath, which are her two accounts, right? And she has another one as well, which is still up, by the way, which is, I think, AliciaXLife or something. So definitely go support her over on there. But essentially, yeah, she ended up getting hacked by one of those classic Bitcoin kind of ones. I don't know how to like explain it, but essentially what they do is they kind of, take the cookies and whatever. And apparently it was due to like having moderators and stuff on her account. Which of course, if they click on something bad, then it can then, go over onto her account. And yeah, it ended up taking over her account, as it's happened with many other people. As I said, people like Risu from hololive and many more have also had the same hack. We covered it a couple of months ago where Risu was essentially saying like the nutcoin crash or whatever. And it was quite funny because obviously she ended up making a joke out of it and hololive got it sorted. But of course, hololive have a lot of connections and things to YouTube and other platforms to essentially, sort this stuff out really quickly and get everybody back on board. But whenever it comes to more independent creators like Alicia and so many other people that have been facing this, it becomes a lot harder because of course they get stuff happening to them, including the fact that Alicia ended up getting rid of the hackers herself, ended up kind of sorting out the situation herself with no help from YouTube really. And then afterwards, after she'd managed to sort that all out, YouTube went and deleted both of the accounts, or I say removed both of the accounts due to like the hacker thing. And obviously, YouTube does that sometimes to prevent more people from clicking on the links and things and just trying to find an easy way to take it down, which I think is fair enough. But the fact is that Alicia had sorted out the issue. The issue was no longer there. But after she had sorted it out, they went and deleted it anyways. It wasn't the hackers that deleted it. It was YouTube themselves, which I think is crazy, right? And of course, these are still kind of, recoverable. So she is able to get them back, right? But it is just kind of a method of like, hey, can we actually talk to YouTube, right? And this is essentially the post that she put out recently, obviously after this post where she's saying, I was hacked today. She added Team YouTube. They said, we've, replied to your DM, saying replied, this is the following that I sent. And then they said, yeah, let's keep it in DMs, right? And I thought, okay, sure, maybe they're working on it behind the scenes. But this post came out today from Alicia saying it still isn't fixed yet. YouTube stopped replying to me. What is happening? I just want my YouTube channels back. It's been days. Even your support team isn't replying to my emails. Why is it so hard for them just to give me back my channels? Which again is pretty ridiculous, right? It's absolutely insane how terrible the YouTube support systems are for any creator on the platform. It is absolutely terrible how hard it is to get your own channels back and for it to take days like this for you to even, receive anything back. Because of course, it's their livelihood for a lot of people, right? And I'm assuming Alicia depends on it quite a bit as well, right? And of course, if for any YouTuber that, does the job full time, or at least relies heavily on the money that comes in from that, it can be terrible having your channel taken down for this long, especially in the next few days, because of course if your channel isn't up there, you're not making any money, right? Because nobody's viewing your videos because they're not on the platform. So of course you miss out the money from those days, and also you miss out the potential money you could have made making videos. Now of course it is said to be that obviously Alicia has been in surgery and stuff, which she did obviously make another post saying like it kind of feels targeted that they've done it at this time. Again, I'm not too sure. I think it was just a coincidence, at least in my head. I think it's a coincidence because this is a very common hack. I don't think they would have really gone into it too much. I don't think they would have really done that much research for this kind of stuff. I think that, yeah, obviously if it was something where they specifically had done something to kind of go after Alicia, then maybe. But obviously, because this is just one of those like crypto, like there's no like real targeting going on. It's not like they necessarily dislike Alicia or whatever. It's literally just them trying to show a Bitcoin scam or whatever to her viewers, right? So that makes me think it wasn't targeted, but maybe it was. Obviously she says that she's put out posts about her surgery and things and whenever it's happening. So maybe they thought that she would be inactive during that time. Obviously she wasn't, as we know, and ended up being able to counteract it. But again, obviously that is also something to be kind of considered. But the worst part is the fact that YouTube just still haven't done anything about it. They haven't managed to, figure out this situation. And if anything, they've done really nothing here. All they've done is deleted the account and made the situation worse, right? They didn't manage to take down the hackers. Alicia did that all herself. And again, they've taken down her account and now are refusing to respond to her despite taking down her account, which I think is crazy, right? I think it's absolutely insane that some people are put in these situations, especially whenever people rely so heavily on stuff like YouTube to make a living, right? And, it's crazy that as well, like, one of the main ways to kind of get their attention is by atting them on Twitter. Like, that just doesn't seem like a very healthy way to, have a support system. It doesn't seem like a very helpful way for a lot of creators to contact YouTube. Like, there should be some kind of off-platform kind of way to contact them whenever issues like this does happen. Obviously, they say, they've emailed them and things, but honestly, I think there needs to be some kind of live chat, that works. Because, of course, in YouTube Studio, there is usually a live chat for some people there to essentially contact someone and talk to them right then and there. So why can they not get access to that live chat while off platform as well? Because of course, she can't just go onto YouTube Studio and contact them because she doesn't have access to that channel. But why isn't there a web page for YouTube where you can get access to the same support that you can get in YouTube Studio and figure it out then, right? Because of course you're speaking to a real person who actually tries to figure out stuff for you, right? But again, you're unable to do that, and it is pretty ridiculous that is even happening. And of course, I think it is a wasted resource getting these people in live chats whenever they can't even really help many people. And I'm sure a lot of the requests that they get within YouTube Studio are pretty stupid, right? I'm sure like half of them are pretty pointless. Whenever there's actual people like Alicia here who genuinely need help and genuinely need their account to come back up, which again, I think is absolutely horrible, right? And I saw a lot of people as well, like, commenting about, like, Alicia and things that has happened in the past, right? But I don't really care, right? I don't think it's one of these things where essentially, you need to, like, go after them for, like, previous situations. I think for anybody, it's a horrible situation to be a part of. I wouldn't want anybody, even, like, the people that I, hate the most, to have their account removed in this way and not have any response. Because, of course, it's terrible for anybody, and I can understand that as someone who creates content and who also is on the platform, right? It'd be terrible, if that stuff was to happen to anybody, right, on the platform. And of course, people have been, discussing it. And obviously people, talked about it on the Alicia server as well, saying, did Alicia's YouTube get hacked again? Because this has happened before. And if you remember the last time this happened, she also had an issue with YouTube support because they replied to her with, like, an AI thing where essentially the AI prompt didn't work properly, and it ended up, like, kind of giving you, like, a weird, like coding quote thing, which I thought was pretty interesting. And obviously it shows you that a lot of the responses that you get, for example, in this post, are usually run by, like, an AI bot. It's never like an actual person that actually cares, right? People saying, so yeah, Bitcoin stream again, I hope she knows. And obviously, the mod saying it's been fixed. Alicia has thrown out the hackers. Edit, YouTubers removed her channel, most likely because of TOS. We are working on it, so it may take longer since Alicia is going into surgery. They say, here we go again. It's gone now. Mercifully didn't live long. Said, what is the crypto scammers hacking Alicia's channel? Clarification, why her specifically, to the point it's happened 3 or 4 times now. And I think it is, again, as they said, a problem with some of the people that have access to the account. Which obviously hopefully gets fixed next time. But people, also saying it's also on her Alicia X live channel, saying, isn't this the 2nd or 3rd time this has happened? Said 4th. It's probably a scammy sponsor email. And obviously a lot of people not happy about this happening. And obviously a lot of people as well are upset that, they can't watch her videos. I've had so many comments in my comment section as well, being like, hey, I kind of wanted to watch, the next, I guess, what you call it, addition into, like, a lot of our react videos, right? Because you guys seem to enjoy watching them. But of course you can't because the channel's not up. Like, even if it was the case of, like, she didn't have access, but the videos were still up, that's not the case, right? Some people were actively, like, binging her videos and it just, like, disappeared, right? And they can't watch them anymore, which also sucks for a lot of the fans, right? Because again, there is no, like, trace of her account on there apart from her 3rd account which obviously did manage to avoid a hack or a ban or whatever, which yeah is pretty insane. But again, it just goes to show how stupid YouTube has been over the past couple of months or so in terms of support, and it's definitely something that needs to change, right, in terms of how people can actually contact and get some support whenever things like this happen, because it is a common thing. And obviously, sure, if they had a pretty terrible support but things barely ever happened, then I can kind of understand why they put less into their support if there was less issues. But let's be real, YouTube is writhing with issues at the moment, to the point where, you know, there is this definite need for support. There is this definite need for people to be able to contact someone directly to get this sorted as soon as possible, because these are real issues that go on over at YouTube that they are not fixing, right? And they're not helping out at all in any way, and it's taking them days to manage to get an account back whenever this is obviously, you know, people's livelihoods and stuff, which I think is crazy, right? But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for this situation. As I said, it's gotten even worse with the fact that they aren't even replying to her at all, and they've essentially just kind of ghosted her after obviously responding to all of this kind of stuff. But yeah, a lot of people as well, you know, atting Team YouTube saying do your jobs, because it is ridiculous that this is going on, and it takes them so long. It takes them so long to respond to this kind of stuff, and it's pretty horrible to see, right? But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kazza, get 10% off again. They've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.